Chapter 638. Wilbur merely smiled and said, "You're going to die soon, so there's no reason to hold anything back anymore." When Sullivan heard that, his eyes shook as gray flames ignited around his body, surging towards the skies, merging with the spiritual energy cloud above his head. A wave of terrifying death energy suddenly enveloped everyone. Everyone was shocked. He actually still had the ability to continue fighting and unleash so much pressure as well. It was incredibly horrifying. However, while everyone was feeling shocked, they started to get excited as well. As long as Sullivan could force Wilbur to use his domain, then they would have gained a lot that day. Wilbur slowly advanced towards Sullivan, not panicking at all. He did not look like he was about to attack at all and merely looked incredibly confident. Zeke and Chester both had their eyebrows furrowed. Wilbur's abilities left no room for doubt, but Sullivan was not just a regular sanctuary-level cultivator as well. It made Wilbur's strength feel absurd. "Trevor, other than those few, you're the strongest person I've ever met. You're worthy of tasting my full power. Come." Sullivan's hands constantly moved, and the spiritual energy around him looked like it was burning up even his life. The dozen over ambience level cultivators were shocked. Burning his own life force meant that he really was putting his life on the line. It was very terrifying to think of a sanctuary level cultivator putting his life on the line. They even started to retreat, making sure they were at a safe distance. Zeke and Chester both prepared themselves as well, starting to summon up their spiritual energy. They were not worried that Wilbur could lose, but worried that they might be caught up in the following battle. At that moment, Wilbur was already right in front of Sullivan, not even 3 meters away. It was close enough that he could slash right at him. Sullivan was a spell cultivator. There was no way he could avoid Wilbur's all-out attack. Meanwhile, everyone knew how strong Wilbur's techniques were. It was horrifying, strange, and mystical. "Do you have any last words?" Wilbur asked calmly. Sullivan shouted out crazily, "Trevor, do you think you can beat me? No one can win against me if I don't feel like losing." Wilbur's expression darkened as he raised his thunder cleaver with one hand, slashing it down like lightning. However, at that moment, Sullivan's spell was finally complete. He shouted out, "Oathly God Soul." Wilbur's thunder cleaver fell right on Sullivan's body. However, Sullivan's body seemed like it was not even a solid existence at that moment. The sword did not seem to harm him at all. Wilbur was stunned, but at that moment, Sullivan grabbed both his hands. An intense power wrapped itself around Wilbur, stopping him from moving. At the same time, that dense cloud of spiritual energy above Sullivan formed into a massive figure, and chanting could be heard in the skies. The figure had armor on, and a ferocious look on its face as it looked down at Wilbur. One hand was against its chest, and another reached out for Wilbur's head as if it was trying to take something. Everyone was suddenly enveloped by an intense surge of death aura. It felt as though they were all in hell and faced the strongest being in hell. They felt the need to kneel down and prostrate themselves.